Hey there, I'd like to talk to you about what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doing to our public health agencies and why it might put your health at risk, but also about some scientists and doctors who are trying to step up, fill in the void, do some of what those agencies used to do, and whether that can make a difference. Now, it's based on a few days I just spent hanging out with a bunch of infectious disease specialists at their annual conference, and it was, a typical medical conference with sessions on like tuberculosis and tropical diseases, controlling infections in hospital wards. But this year's conference happened to be in Atlanta, almost literally down the street from the CDC, one of the agencies that's really taken the brunt of Kennedy's attacks. Some of the things I heard were genuinely shocking. Staff at the CDC is now down a quarter to a third when you take into account the firings, people forced out put on administrative leave. And at the highest levels of leadership, which used to be dominated by career scientists, it's now almost all political appointees handpicked by Kennedy, many with apparent sympathies for his anti-vax agenda. And it's showing up in all kinds of ways. People told me the agency is really struggling just to do the day-to-day work of managing grants or dispatching workers to local and state governments that are trying to deal with outbreaks. And if you look on the CD website, you can find language that is clearly contrary to the scientific consensus. But there was also news at this conference because there's a bunch of scientists and doctors who have gotten together and they said, look, maybe we on our own can start to build an information base and provide the kind of information we used to count on the CDC to provide, but can't any longer. You can read all about it at the latest edition of the Breakdown newsletter. It talks about who these scientists are, what this project is, whether it'll make a difference, and also capture the spirit of this community that's realizing that if they don't act, nobody will. It's the latest edition of the Breakdown newsletter by me, Jonathan Cohn, at The Bulwark. I hope you'll read it. I hope you'll think about subscribing because we really do depend on your support to bring you these kinds of stories.